Alright, hey guys, we're doing lock picking today, so all kinds of fun stuff, and I'm joined with Bryan Black of Imminent Solutions. Friend, we've done some videos together.
A couple of videos, yes.
And he's on YouTube. He's a sensation on YouTube. So
only on YouTube.
But no, seriously, big deal. Puts out really cool content, and I'm going to put his store link below, website, YouTube, and all that stuff. We're doing lock picking today. You guys are going to benefit from it. I'm already pretty good to go on this subject, but
I've never seen you pick a lock.
I've picked
what kind of pick
hundreds
set do you have?
Pick set. What's
yeah,
a pick
so like
set?
what do you use to manipulate pins? Do you bypass the lock? Do you pick it? Like what do you
You man up and you kick the door open. That's how you pick a lock.
That's your solution.
You ranger that door, yeah.
That's what you call rangering?
Yeah, well, you don't have, it's not called rangering, it's called kicking a door, but if you scream the word ranger when you kick it, it flies open easier.
Ah.
Lock picking.
Not the same thing.
All right. So I might have something to learn after all. Here we go. All right, guys, so this is a skill that I'm really interested in, and so I asked Bryan to help coach us through it. They have lock pick sets, which are really cool and simple, and he's going to give us a little tutorial on how we can do this stuff and kind of the simple stuff we need. Sound good?
Absolutely. So like to say, there's a couple of different reasons you would want to learn how to pick a lock. First of all, it's not for nefarious purposes. It's to really understand how locks work, how they're manipulated, how they can be defeated so that you can better protect your home and your loved ones and things like that. The second reason is you never have to call a locksmith again, so it's money back in your pocket. So when you lock your keys out in the house, you can get back in without having to depend on somebody else or AAA.
Or ranger the...
Or just ranger the door, yeah. You don't want to replace your door though, right?
That's right.
I mean,
good call. Good call.
Stuff costs money. And then the third reason is just plain cool to learn how to pick locks. It's just kind of a thing,
Fact.
Right. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. One, the most common lock that you're going to encounter is a pin and tumbler lock, which is represented by this little clear lockpick trainer here. And the way that this works is that it demonstrates pin stacks. So in a traditional pin and tumbler lock, you have a tumbler that actually moves. So when you insert the right key into the lock, the plug or tumbler turns and you get into your house. So what that's doing is it's lining up the driver pins and the key pins along what's called a shear line. So the intersection of the top pins or driver pins and the bottom pins or the key pins is what's called the shear line. So when that crosses, the bottom pins stay with the key and the top pins stay with the springs and it automatically opens. So
what you just said sounded really smart, but I thought, like, oh, okay. I'm thinking, act like you know what he's saying. All right,
yeah, pin stacks.
The good old business.
When you insert the wrong key into the lock, you can see that those pins do not line up along the shear line, and the lock does not turn. Right?
I love that.
Right. So the premise behind picking the lock is actually manipulating the pins like they were the profile of the key, because this particular visible cutaway lock has 5 different pin stacks that correspond to the 5 different cuts that are in a key. So when you get a lock rekeyed, all they're doing is changing the pins, the bottom key pins, and it changes the height or the profile of the key, so you get a different cut of the key. That's really all there is to it.
Cool.
So when you're picking a lock, and these are the 2-piece titanium flats we sell, titanium because it doesn't go through metal detectors, not detectable. So if you ever needed something like that, they come in titanium. So tension is what's important in a lock. So these act as both the tension wrench and the pick themselves. So the set consists of tension wrenches on the back, and then the front is either a rake or a single pin pick. So what's great about the rake is that you can manipulate a lock quickly, but however for this demo I'm going to use the single pin because it's important to kind of see how the pins get manipulated. So again, if I bring the pick into the lock, I'm trying to replicate all the pins lining up across that shear line. So right now I've got the tension held, it's pretty well picked, although there's something sticking that's preventing it. So I'm going to attempt to find the stuck pin that's in here and just manipulate these.
So as you're pushing up on that to defeat these little tumblers, you're also pushing to decide with that.
And it's not
tension.
much. It's kind of a featherweight tension too. You don't want to overdo it because if you try to kill it, it's really going to bind and you won't be able to manipulate it fully.
I knew that because I saw Catherine Zeta-Jones do this one-handed.
Oh, she knows how to do that?
Yeah, she did one-handed behind the back. Can you not do
Movie
that?
lock picking
Can
is
you not
awesome.
do that?
Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, Bryan Black.
Okay. I can do that. Let's pick now.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good.
So that's kind of the premise behind pin and tumbler locks. So you've got pin stacks, shear line, all that stuff comes into play. However, when you're dealing with other types of locks like padlocks or multi-wheel padlocks like this, there's simpler ways to do it. So yes, you can spend time actually picking the lock or raking the lock. However, there's something called bypassing, which is a pretty cool technique. So if you have a standard padlock like this, we sell things called easy decoders, which are very springy, very thin profile, and that goes between the wheel of one of these locks, which we'll get into in a second. And then we also have quick sticks. That's kind of a harder gauge steel. And what this is for is it actually enters the keyway. So you're kind of putting this into the keyway until it can't go any further. And you're just manipulating.
You magician. That took you no time.
Yeah. So this is a pretty cheap Chinese-made lock and therefore easy to pick. But this is one of those situations where, hey, now that I know that a lock is this crappy, I'm not going to buy this to put on my fence at home. You know, I'm going to buy something that is a little more durable and it's not easy to be bypassed. So,
do you have recommendations on good locks?
Actually, I do. So there's
we'll
a
put them
company
below in the description
called Alloy, and you can get them from Security Snobs. They sell awesome locks.
There you go.
So, again, I'm just putting this into the lock until it won't go any further. And snapping open.
Awesome. I got to do it.
Yep. I will demonstrate the multi-wheel.
Keep talking to them, and I'm gonna.
So on the multi-wheel lock, this is a visible cutaway, so you can actually see what's going on in the lock while this is happening. But again, that's that thin spring steel, and I'm going to put that in on the right side of the third wheel from the left. So I'm going to put this in at kind of a a downward attacking angle into this.
I was about to go to Plan B.
Rangering?
It's called Ranger. There's Ranger right there.
I like calling it Rangering because you don't like
Rangering?
that.
No.
Yeah. Rangering. You're gonna Rangering that, right?
Oh, yeah, right. I hate that. Man, that's easy.
So, easy decoder into that position, and you're going to depress the shackle while you're pushing down on the easy decoder, and you just open it up.
Dude.
So that's the easy decoder. Those are some bypass methods. We also have this type of device here, which allows you to put in different kinds of locks. You can put one of these clear trainers in here so that you can work on a bench and actually kind of get to learn how a lock works without having to hold everything in your hand. But these work really good for placing these in a position where you can pick it. It's pretty stable. There you go.
I just did it.
Nice.
And this thing is done.
Yeah. So that's the thing. We sell these in a 2-pack, and if you Ranger your way into opening it, you kind of get that.
Yeah, I suck.
Yeah.
I suck.
But they are very thin, and you can try to bend them back, but they're never kind of the same afterwards.
Gotcha. Okay. So what do I need? Tonight I'm shopping at your store.
So I like this 2-piece flat set, and it's one of my favorites. That's why I kind of demonstrated this, is because you can tape them on the back of one of your cards and your wallets, so you always kind of have these. And then you can also take a quick stick and an easy decoder and tape those too. So with a quick stick, an easy decoder, and the 2-piece flats, you're pretty much good to go, and you can kind of get your way into
those 4 little things.
4 little things.
Below in the descriptions, represent. That's a cool thing. I'm buying some. Why are you laughing?
I'm just so excited.
That sounded sarcastic, you jerk. All right, guys. Anything else?
No, I mean, I'm glad you allowed me to kind of demonstrate. I think that lockpicking is kind of a pretty cool skill again. And remember, don't pick any locks that you don't have permission to. That's kind of the ethical rule of lock sport, if you will.
We'll close out the video, and then right after my exit, it's not an intro, and it's extra. How do you? What is
Exfil.
It's not XL. I'm going to pick this lock for the first time ever. I've never tried to do this, and I'm not going to shoot it, though I do want to shoot it. Guys, Bryan Black, thanks so much. Make sure you follow him, subscribe, and shop if you want to. So, see you guys. All right, so this guy right here, we have a date with Destiny. And all I have to do here, just in and hammer fist.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just ranger it.
What do you? We don't need your silly little product. Here we go. Let's give it a go.
So use that one to hold the tension.
This one to hold the tension.
The rig side, because you can kind of see what's going
And
on.
this goes down like that, and I need to put a little bit of pressure right there.
Correct.
Get that like an old veteran. Does this go up or down?
It goes up. So yeah, you want that hump to actually interface with the top of each pin stack.
Okay.
So actually bring it all the way into the lock first and kind of give a little lift on all the pins. There you go. And now just vary your tension a little bit as you're manipulating kind of the individual pins. And you want them all...
How did Catherine Zeta-Jones do this behind her back? I don't understand.
You want them all that height. So that one that's on the far left.
Oh.
So try to get those pins... So right now, that first pin is what's sticking. See how that's lowered? So now come to that first pin that's binding. Give that a little manipulation.
I don't understand why I'm not immediately great at this. 10 more seconds and I'm going to shoot it.
So see the second pin? That's actually too high. So the only way to... There you go.
I got to start from scratch. Speak to me, Goose.
You're almost there. I mean, that's pretty well there. It's tough to know. Yeah, just kind of keep varying the tension as you're doing that too. Just kind of, featherweight tension. It's looking pretty good.
Can I just rake?
You can try that. Sure. Anything's possible. In lockpick land, anything's possible.
I heard your brain be like, sure you can, you dummy.
I mean, all those pins really look like they're pretty lined up along the shear line, so I think it's a tension issue.
Okay, so I'm doing something wrong here. I'm going
too
hard.
I think you may be putting too much tension on the tumbler there.
I am very strong.
You have tension deficit disorder.
The worst. That's a terrible. Usually I'm the dad joke extraordinaire, and Bryan Black has won the day today. Man, I really am not good on this feather tension. You
all right, so come back
lock.
into the lock and lift all the pins at once. There you go.
And I just turned it up.
Yep. So let go of the tension. Now bring the pick all the way in, but don't come all the way through the lock. So you want to bring it just to about this point, and you want to just press all the way up and lift the pins. All right, now put a little tension on it. A little more tension. There you go. Now slowly let the pick out, and you can see kind of what the pins are doing as they drop. All right, so now come back through the lock and hit this guy right here. There you go. Give it a little more tension, and then come here. There you go. Drop your tension just a little bit, just so that middle pin drops a little bit.
Messed up.
Here, check it out. Watch this. Alright, so this is what I was mentioning about lifting them all.
Oh.
So make sure you get them all.
Okay.
So then put a little tension on there, and then just kind of, see how I'm just kind of lifting everything?
Yeah.
And I'm just rocking back and forth. It's just kind of a...
Okay.
So try that.
Alright. There's going to be one soldier out there watching me in YouTube land. Everyone else has given up. But he's like, come on, John.
You got it.
You got this. Be the lock, John. Be the lock. Feel it. And there's probably one other dude watching. He fell asleep. Oh, something moved. Something moved.
Do this with your attention. Just back it off just a tiny bit, then back on again. Bam.
And it's just that easy.
It's just that easy.
2.5 hours later, with you being like, no, yes,
No.
no, you realize I'm going to also invest in a trainer lock.
They're pretty cool.
That's awesome. Thanks, bro.
Absolutely.
Yes.